Good morning and welcome to episode 10. Sorry, there was some jarring music earlier. Um, I was just trying out a few different setups in my live streaming software. Inadvertently enabled some of the things that I was still trying out. But anyway, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening based on wherever you are in the world. Today is episode 10. And I cannot believe I have done 10 live streams. I mean, the quality and of the audio, maybe the way I present are all questionable, but I think we are getting there, and I'm trying to improve every day, and that's the goal. The goal for this is both my personal improvement and my I don't know improvement in my professional side of things as well. All right. Now today we are going to talk about today we are going to curate content for integration and iteration. And if you are listening to this for the first time, just to set some expectations and give you an idea, what is it that I will be talking about in these live streams, right? Um, So the title of the live streams is, as you can see, will I find UX content? Right. These live streams are basically for me to find content for my shorter UX videos. And while I try to find content during these live streams, I also try to talk about those concepts, anything that we pick up in detail, and try to explain them in more detail compared to ultimately the short version of the video. Yeah, right. So that's the idea for this, and this is mostly for me to bounce off my thoughts on YouTube and recently LinkedIn. I was streaming only on LinkedIn streaming only on YouTube until last week. But I started streaming on LinkedIn as well, starting this week. That's the expectation. Now today I'm also, as you can see, I've set up a different monitor. I don't know if you can tell, but this is an external monitor that I have plugged in to my laptop and see how this setup works. Right. Anyway, let's jump right in. Let me open Figma. I have to shift windows around because of this new setup. Um, all right. Yeah, and yesterday I was up very late because we were meeting some friends, my wife and I, and we were up till 1:30 in the night, and that's why I did not put my video as well in full screen because then you'll be able to tell my eyes are swollen, still tired, and they still look very sleepy. Um, all right, so I think I'll open a new Fig Jam. I mean, I keep sharing that Fig Jam during these live streams. I don't know why. So that is to track what are the things that I am doing right and what are the things that I am not doing right. Let me open a new file now. I'll rename it to, oops, okay, yeah, I'll rename it to integration. I think I'll zoom in so that you guys can also see. Yes, integration. Oh, okay, interesting. I hope you guys are able to see the right screen now. Integration and iteration. And I'm going to move this show version history. No, move to project, move to UX videos. Okay, move. Yes, zoom out now. All right, so what I want to do is copy paste some of the earlier content so I have some framework to work with. This to do. I think create this also suits. Yeah, it's very bad. that I use fillers like that. Cool. Anyway, integration and iteration. One of my friends yesterday was giving me feedback on these live streams, and it was two items. One is do not use fillers. I've tried to avoid fillers as much as possible. Like anyway, all right, things like that. Uh, and the first item is I tend to. I mean, this is something that I am doing right now, which is dwindling, right, and not being maybe very concise and crisp. So I'm going to try and do that from today's live stream. Let's see. It is definitely going to take some time as I am getting used to this format or generally talking about something uh, off the top of my head. All right. So, yeah, right is again a filler. Uh, Now, coming back to integration and iteration, what is integration? Yeah, I'm not very still clear about the difference. Right? I know there is a difference between integration and iteration, but we will see. We'll try and figure out the difference because I want to be clear when I talk about this in my shorter format, so that whoever who's watching it also is clear. Uh, yeah. So now, how I don't know. I wanna say how does it impact, but I think I should say how. Yeah, one thing that I want to say that I try to address in all of my topics. Right, I'm saying topics because this is generally something that I like to follow or that I try to follow as much as possible, and I have been successful so far. Is addressing the why. Right, okay, what is integration and iteration? We talk about the definition, we talk about how it works, what we call an integration, what we call an iteration, and so on. And the next thing that I'd like to talk about is why is it important? Why are we talking about it? Does it even matter? Right, so that's the why of things because that makes it very clear. Okay, this is the reason why I should be thinking about this, why I should be applying this particular thing, and so on. Right. So I am not. I think that I should be able to come up with something for this. Usually, I have something solid. That made it look like I'm not very confident about why someone should use this. I vaguely have an idea why someone should use this. What I meant was, I'm not sure how to put it in words. Right. Anyway, let's move on to how can you apply. All right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Now let's try and find first the definition for iteration. I go to LinkedIn. Sorry, not LinkedIn. Kindle. Interesting. Linked and Kindle have the same set of letters, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. Something I just noticed. Linked and humans. And Kindle and Volume diagram same. Interesting. So Linked. Wow. Okay. That's a revelation. Um, Now coming back to this, what I want to find is what are they defining as integration and iteration. I think for those I'm just remembering it watching yesterday's episode, we I said I'll be talking about some of the things from the 100 things every designer needs to know. I'll zoom in again. So this is one of the books that I will recommend everyone who is in the product space to read, even though it says 100 things every designer needs to know about people. It should be 100 things everyone in product. needs to know about people because it is very important for everyone in a product team to understand why user experience is important and what is the impact, what is the measurable impact that it can make. And this is one such book or one of those books that talks about the actual impact that it can make. And when I say actual impact, I mean how it can convert your users or how something can, when I say convert, how it can increase your cart conversion rate or how something, sorry, just give me a second, something weird with my throat. Yeah, okay. All right. So yeah, what I was saying was how something can increase the conversion rate, or if you are doing a funnel analysis, let's say there are 5 steps, and uh, by the time the users come to fourth step, the attrition is about 80% or 90%, right? How can you increase that? Because those are all directly impacting your revenue, your time saved, or time that you are losing in something, all of those metrics, right? So this is one of those books that talks about how it can directly impact those matrices, right? And that's the reason anyone should make anything in a product, right? I'm not even saying anyone should do design. Anything that you are making, I think, should revolve around some metric. It could be your OKRs, it could be your North Star metric, and so on. This is something that I have seen, even though it is very commonly talked about in the recent times, it's not very commonly used or applied in many products, right? Especially in small and upcoming companies and products, right? So yeah, yesterday I said I'll talk about a few topics from this, which we will. Just be patient with me. I will just spend maybe 15-20 more minutes on this, and then we'll get right into this one. All right. So now going back to this, yes, I think it was an information architecture book. All right. So iteration. Okay, let's see. They are talking about iteration on this. I hope the text is readable. Let me just quickly switch back to my streaming software and see if it is readable. Okay, I think it is fairly readable, but anyway, I'll still make it a little bigger. So if anyone's struggling with the text size, you can also read it. Okay. Um, Now, okay, they are talking about exploratory seeking, known item seeking. I'll talk about this in definitely in one of the excuse me, in one of the live streams. I talked about this in a webinar about 2 months ago. The topic was information seeking behavior, or how information or how your customers find information in your product. But yeah, I tend to digress. Okay, so what they are, when you are hoping to find or hoping to find a few useful items in your traps. Okay. Okay. So he is taking a fishing metaphor. That's why he's talking about traps. He's talking about fishing traps. When you're hoping to find a few useful items in your traps, you are doing something called exploratory seeking. Okay. In this case, you are exactly not sure what you are looking for. All right. In fact, whether you realize it or not, you are looking to learn something from the process of searching and browsing. Okay. For example, a user may go to his employees human resources site, which is, I think, the same topic or a similar topic that we talked about in one of the live streams, to learn something about the retirement plans that the company offers. Okay, in the process he may encounter some basic information blah blah blah. I'm gonna skip the rest of the text here and get to the place where he talks about iteration. Alright, exploratory seeking is typically open-minded. Let me drink some more water. There is no clear expectation. Okay, nor does the user necessarily know how to articulate what exactly he is looking for. He's happy to retrieve a few good results and use them as a springboard for the next iteration of the search. Okay. Okay, so I think there is some definition that we can come up with of this, but I want to find if there what more they are talking about iteration. Okay, there are two major aspects. Okay, integration and iteration, internet searching, asking, how shows how. All right, might find browse your way through the internet portal, browse the policies area, and then search. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right, and one of the things that the author talks about at the starting of this book, right, and he addresses it right off the bat, so the expectation for anyone who's reading this book is also set right, is you cannot sometimes put a definition to something, and when he tries to come up with a definition for information architecture, right, what is information architecture or what can you define as information architecture, it basically comes up with three or four definitions, right? And based on what you are talking about, those definitions apply. And if they do not apply, maybe there is a completely different definition, again, based on what you are talking about in that particular scenario. I think this is something similar where he is not, where the author is not clearly defining what is iteration, but yeah, let's just keep looking for it. Okay. Got it. All right. I think I have the definition for iteration. I already had the definition for integration. So let me try and first show you guys visually like what it means. Now, all right. My goal is say find latest results of Wimbledon and find latest results of FIDE Candidates Tournament. And for those who are not familiar with FIDE or the Candidates Tournament, it's a chess tournament that happens to pick the challenger to Magnus Carlsen, who is the current world chess champion. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, it happens every 2 years, and there are think 8 to 10 participants who contest in this tournament, and it is going on right now. And yeah, like I said, whoever who wins this tournament will face Carlsen and challenge him for World Chess Championship. Right. So my goals are find the latest results of Wimbledon. And the second goal or task that I'm going to take up is find latest results of FIDE candidates. Now let me open Edge. Now, what I am going to do is first try to find it on Bing.com, Microsoft's Bing search, and I'm going to try and find the same information in Google search as well. And once we are done with that, I'll show you guys what I mean by integration or how integration is defined. All right, so now let me see. Let me enter the query. Wimbledon results. Right. Okay, so as soon as I searched Wimbledon results, they are showing me this table, and I see yeah, it's all today's pairings, and I can see the results of the rounds so far when I go back to previous days. Um, okay, all right. So this is good. I'm sorry I got lost in looking at the results than actually explaining what we are trying to do. Now I'm going to try and do the same thing with uh, Google. google.com, and I'm gonna say Wimbledon results. All right. So this is interesting, right? If you remember, as soon as we typed Wimbledon results, they automatically showed today's pairings. Right. Now, when I did the same thing in Google, when I said Wimbledon results, they are showing me yesterday. Right. They are not showing me today's pairings because maybe I typed Wimbledon results, and let's see if that makes any difference. We are slightly digressing, but I think this will be entertaining and interesting. Wimbledon. Yeah, I'm just gonna type Wimbledon. Okay, they're still showing me Wednesday. I don't know if it is because I am searching from the same account. So let me open an incognito window and we'll try this one last time. Wimbledon. Okay, all right. So it looks like by default, or in many cases, Google shows what has happened instead of showing what is going to happen, or maybe what is happening. Maybe when something is happening, when a match is live, they'll show today, because that is something that I have noticed in other sports, especially in cricket. And I think in tennis as well, when I was following a different tournament last year, I think it was Australian Open or the French Open. And yeah, whenever a match is live, they directly show you what is going on currently. All right. Now, anyway, coming back to the example. So what I did is first I did a search, and then I went to the desired date, or generally exploring to see what are the results, and if what happened in Djokovic's match, for example, or Nadal's match, and so on. Right. Now I did the same thing in Google as well. Now let's try and find the FIDE candidates results. Candidates results so far. Okay. All right. This is interesting. I'm gonna try and do the same thing in Google. FIDE candidates results. Hmm. Yeah, this is amazing. Um, Now, if you see this result, obviously the table or points table or the matches table or the pairings, none of it is available. And here the pairings or the schedule is not available, but okay, I got distracted looking at Nepomniachtchi. So he was last year's championship challenger. I know, these guys play at the cream of the crop level, but it was kind of disappointing because he crashed and burned during the championship, and it ended way, way earlier than it is supposed to happen. I think it was 15 or 16 matches, and it ended in 8 matches because Magnus Carlsen won the required number of matches in those 8 or 10 matches. And and yeah, coming back to this, okay, now I can see the points table as the results up front. Now, in the case of Microsoft Bing, let me see if I am able to see it in the first link in scroll. Okay, these are all the players. It's a nice graphic. During the pandemic, chess has really boomed, and online chess especially has boomed insanely. And today there are, I think, about 20,000 to 30,000 people watching these tournaments online live, right? Which is something, because I don't think more than a few hundred people or a few thousand people were watching before that, or were following just very actively before that. Okay, I am not able to find the. Okay, I can find the results. Okay, this is the standing, even though the text is kind of hard to read. Now let's go back to FigJam and try to map the journey that we just had, right? I'm gonna call the first task is Wimbledon. I think this is, yeah, this is going for Wimbledon. And the second task is candidates. Now, what I first did was I'm just going to take one journey, search for, okay, I'm just going to call it search, since you guys have already seen. Um, Click on the date or check the date, scan the results, scan the results of the matches, right? And yeah, check a different date and repeat until I find. So this is good. This is a very short example. We'll try and take one more example before I try explain what is integration. Right. So again, same for candidate search. I'm going to take Bing's example. Click on first link because it helps, explain the concept. Click on first link and scan page. Now, I'm going to take one last example, which is trying to find something in Decathlon. Yes, this is the same example I used in my webinar also. If you guys have seen my webinar, you are familiar with what I am going to do. Now, what I am going to do is try to find one product, which is, let's see, okay, we were talking about Wimbledon. Let's see if we can find a tennis racket. Right, so now I clicked on the menu and I am looking for, okay, is outdoor sports, running and walking rackets first. Okay, I click on tennis. Okay, tennis rackets. Okay, I find it up front. Let's for a moment imagine uh, you don't have this banner, right? And you have only this product categories, I guess. Okay, this is tennis and shots. Explore tennis products by Artengo. Okay, so let's say we click on this and they are showing me all the tennis rackets that are available. And I'm scanning all the items. I really like how this looks, or this photo compared to everything else. It looks interesting than the other ones with a plain white background, so I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to check the price, and I'm going to probably, okay, let's say I am purchasing this. I click on adding to cart. I'm going to go to cart, and yeah, it says no size. I don't know what that means. Okay, alright, I'm gonna say proceed. Okay, I have a delivery fee. Now I want to, let's say, find out if I can pick this up in a store, especially, let's say, in a store that I know that is there in the mall nearby, because I'm going to that mall today anyway. Alright, so in that case, if I want to find, how can I find that? I'm gonna click on view more, view less. Okay, gonna see, okay, home delivery. Okay, it's not in this page and I don't know how to go back. For a moment, let's assume that, I'm kind of lost here, so I'm gonna go back to this and I am gonna find support and say, okay, new support ticket. Right, or let's say there is, for this example, hypothetically, let's imagine there is an email ID. That's what I was looking for. But yeah, they have a ticketing system for their support. Right. Let's imagine there is an email, customer support email ID. that I can write to and find out whatever that I am trying to find out. And in this case, in our hypothetical scenario, I want to find out how I can pick up something from a store instead of ordering it home. Right. So let's try to map this one. I'm gonna take this as tennis racket. Okay, so first I went to decathlon.in. Second is open the menu. I know this can be a little excruciating and painful and slow. Please bear with me. Um, Next one is click on tennis category. Next one is click on the product category. I tend to also, this is one of the feedback or something that I have observed myself doing in the live streaming is that they tend to become very serious and intense, and it's not really very pleasant to look at. That's why you can see me. I mean, even though I am laughing at myself, this is much more pleasant to look at. Click on the product category, all right, and click on the product I want to buy, and click on add to cart. Loss, sorry, could not find information. Support email. Right. Now next, try coming back to home page. Yeah, I'll say back to home page. Home page. Click on support section or link. Email address found. This is our hypothetical scenario. And write email. So this is great. Right now we understand all of this. I'm not going to go again and explain this one. I'm just going to put some arrows here. All right. So what is integration? Right. As you can see, before even we get there, most of the things that we do, if we just pick what are the building blocks, right? That makes up the journey. One is the search, and the second item is clicking on links or clicks on anything that you want to further, where you want to further go, whether it's a category, it's a product page, is just looking for the right word for it. All right, so one is, let's list it here. Search, make it huge. I'll zoom in. The second is click on things. And one thing that we did in our hypothetical scenario, and we just imagine ourselves doing is write to customer support. So these are pretty much the building blocks in this journey, and this is what you will find in any user journey. Right, and when I say user journey, I mean what are, just give me a minute. Yeah, when I use a journey, what are the steps, just like what we did now. Right now, if I have to translate this into the actual building blocks or the building blocks that is defined more commonly is search. And the second one is link to link navigation and asking a human. Right. So these are fundamental building blocks in any information finding session, and how users combine these three building blocks, right, in their entire information finding session or in their journey is basically your integration, right? How a user is integrating these three building blocks into their day-to-day activities or tasks that they are doing in any product. Right? I said day-to-day activities meaning someone is using some a product to order something, or they are using a product to complete their work at office, and so on. All right. Now you may ask, okay, this looks like a very short list, right? And you would be right because there are a few more new ways, a few more new building blocks in the recent times, and I'll try and list a few of them. This is not an exhaustive list of new ways, but again, until about let's say 10 or 15 years ago, these are pretty much, and even today in most of the products, these are pretty much the building blocks, right? You'll not find anything that is not from one of these three building blocks. All right. So what are the new ways? One is asking your home assistant something like or any assistant or yeah, something like Siri and Amazon Alexa. Right? You say Alexa, who's the best tennis player in the world? Who's the best cricket player in the world? Who's the president of the United States? Who's the prime minister of India? Right, we don't want to get political on this channel. Um, yeah, so that's how one of the new building blocks. And you might ask, okay, isn't it the same as asking a human? No, it's not. It's different because Alexa and Siri, despite them being advised as very smart and very human-like, they are not human-like, and there are only certain ways and certain things that you can ask them. And you cannot interact with them the same way you do with a human, right? And that, despite the fact that they are constantly advised as competent or even smarter than humans. Right. So that is one other new way. Now, the other thing is location, location finding. Now, again, in this one, you will still find these two things, or even the third item. All right, let's say let's try and see what I mean by this. I'm going to go to maps.google.com. Now I'm going to search for Sky Vista, which is the office. My office. I was for a second thinking, okay, am I giving away location? What if someone comes to the office and kills me? Um, yeah. So here, as you saw, that I first searched for the location, and because this location is quite popular, or because it was already there in my search history, I then automatically clicked on it. So it's a search and a link to link navigation. Now I want to send, let's say, the location of my house, which is not a landmark that I can search for in the map, right? Or I want to send a location where there are no, let's say, landmarks. For example, I want someone to come to this area and not to Ganga Truvena. This is again a landmark, right? What do? I open the Maps application, and most of the cases when I click on this little icon, it directly shows me where is my location, right? Again, it is a link to link navigation type. But sometimes, let's say you are parents is going to a relative's house, right? And you want to send them the location of the relative who's probably stranded or waiting for them somewhere in the city, and you want them to reach there, and you are, let's say, booking a cab for them. What you do is you first ask the person who's waiting somewhere, right, to send their location, and you will receive their location on the maps or in WhatsApp, and then you open the location in Maps, and then you open your cab booking application, and you try to compare the location that your friend or relative has sent, and try to locate it on the cab booking app's map. Right, I'll repeat that once more in case you're not able to follow. Your friend has sent you a location on WhatsApp. You have opened it on Google Maps, and you are seeing the general location, and you want to select the same location on your cab booking app. Right now, what you do is you compare between these two images of the map, and you drop the pin. Right, just like how I did now. Of course, it'll be slightly different in you'll do it with with a tap instead of a mouse click. So yeah, now what I basically did is, even though it looks like it is a link-to-link navigation, it's quite different, right? So this is again one of the fundamental building blocks, or one of the new fundamental building blocks, right? So yeah, so those are some of the new ways. I want to find out there are what are all the new and different ways that you can that is a basic building block. Right? One other thing that could be, or maybe I have to, I'm not sure about this one, is scanning QR codes, right? And then finding the link from there, or clicking on a link from there, right? And I'm just gonna put it maybe, and I will validate this and let you guys know tomorrow. Cool. So yeah, integration is combining all of how users combine all of these building blocks and try to find the information. And iteration is, if we go back to our tennis racket example, we were trying to find the support email, and in our first attempt, we were not able to find the email, right, in the cart page. I guess it was the cart page. And then in the same cart page, we tried clicking on a link to see if it's hidden inside of that link. So that becomes our second iteration, and we did not find it there. And then we went back to the home page, and we tried finding there. We found something there. We basically found the support ticket, how to raise a support ticket area. Let's say that is our third iteration, but instead of finding what we were looking for, we found something similar. All right, and let's say we raise a support ticket, and we wait for the response, and after a week we are still not getting a response. You go back to Decathlon website, and you try to find a customer care number, right? Or maybe again an email. So you can send an email and know that you have sent it, and probably somebody received it. Right? So that becomes your further iteration. So basically, the number of one way to look at iteration is the number of attempts that you are making to find what you want to find. And the second is finding something relevant to what you are trying to find, and building your search on it. All right, or you just settle for what you have found, basically the similar item that you are that you came across, and not the exact item that you came across. So yeah, one way to look at iteration, I think that was a little confusing. One way of looking at iteration is how many attempts it takes for you to find it, and how many iterations basically it takes for you to find something. And the second way to look at it is you are finding what you want to find in smaller chunks, right? First, you find the parent category, and then maybe the subcategory, and then the subcategory inside that, or the direct link inside that, and so on, right? How many of those? I think, walls that you have to cross to get to where you want to get to. I think we are almost streaming for an hour. Just give me a minute. I just realized the laptop is not charging. So just charge it. Okay. All right. I hope that did not disrupt the broadcast. Awesome. So I'll stop here. I know I said I'll talk about 100 things. Today I'll definitely start with that topic. In fact, I'll put it in my to-do so that I don't forget about it. And tomorrow we will talk about some topics from 100 things every designer should know about people. Right? And I hope today's session was useful. And if you guys have any feedback, especially if you are in my network, and even if you are not in my network, if you have any feedback on these live streams, please do let me know. I am trying to do my own analysis of these live streams after the live streams are done and try to improve the way that I deliver this content to you guys. Damn. I felt kind of fake saying that because but I think that's what I am trying to do at the end of the day. One of the things, at least, right, while I try and improve both, personally and professionally. Cool. All right. We will meet tomorrow in episode 11, and again we will talk about the product 100 things. Yeah. See you guys tomorrow.